It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.
Hey folks, and welcome back to my shop once again. I'm Bruce, and not feeling too well today. I wasn't even going to do a video, but something happened today, and I want to talk about it, as you can see in the title. Death Star PlayStation from Kenner. You see one of mine sitting right there. It's not my best one. My best one's still in a box. Box is open. I have done a review on it before, so if you want to check out a review of that, I'll try to leave a link in the description. I'm really bad about that. If I forget to leave the link, just look through my list of my videos. I'm sorry, I'm just so bad at this kind of stuff. So here's what happened. A buddy of mine calls me today. He's all happy. He's like, Bruce, he said, guess what? Guess what? I'm like, what? He said, guess what I found? I'm like, I don't know, a solid gold toilet. He's like, no. He found a Death Star PlayStation in the box. And he was all excited about it. He said, it's all original. It's in the box. I'm like, oh, that's sweet, man. I'm happy for you. He said, you want me to bring it over? I'm like, okay. I felt like I was 10 again. He wanted me to take a look at it and help him clean it up, teach him what to do to, because it's a little bit dirty, I guess. So he shows up this afternoon. His name is Brian, by the way. So Brian shows up this afternoon, and he's got the box. Nice box. It was in good condition. I'm like, oh, good for you, man. Because I know how it feels when you find a new toy. So does any Star Wars collector. I think we can all agree on that. Because there's a lot in this video you're not going to agree with. I'm warning you right now. But you don't have to, because I believe collect the way you want. So we literally sat down on the floor like a couple of 10-year-olds. I put the dogs out so they wouldn't be bothering us. And he starts pulling out the pieces, and we assembled it. We didn't even do it on the dining room table like adults would do. We did it sitting on our asses on the living room table, or in the living room floor. And yeah, I'm not feeling so well today, so I wasn't really into it. And the pieces he pulled out were pretty nice. I should have taken pictures of it. I didn't, so you're going to have to just hear the Cliff Notes because I have a point to make. So we put it together, and he's pulling out the levels and putting the levels up on and everything, and it's
Mr. Bruce is being weird again. All right, then.
Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. I got a little excited because, talking about Star Wars toys. I love Star Wars toys. Anyway, this is my closer look of my display Death Star station. And I did notice I have a few figures on there that aren't vintage. This is the one I display in my toy room. The other one's in a box. So with that said, we start putting his together. We put the levels down and everything like that. I even had an extra one of these bases here. If you can see on the bottom, there's a base. I actually got that from Toy Polloi, and I just think it makes it. I think it kind of completes it. It's not really attached; it's just sitting on there, but it just has a good look to it. I gave him one of those, and he was happy. We start putting it together. Slides the trash compactor in, puts it all together. Puts the seat on the top, puts the cannon on the top, and all the pieces were there. And he pulled out the trash foam, and I'm like, something ain't right. And I started looking at the other pieces, the Dianoga, the cannon, and the rope. And this is what kind of took the buzz out of it. I'm not going to tell you what he paid for it. It was a lot, but I realized that what he brought wasn't right. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, I had recently done a video of the Dianoga from this playset where I got inspired by another YouTuber that had said that it was painted, it was designed to be painted differently, and they originally planned on painting it, and that would be this one right here, the one I created for that video. It's not original. It's not going to pass for original. This one is original, this one here. As you can see, this one is bendy. I'm being very gentle because it's still 40-some years old. And this one goes to my playset that I display. The one I have in the box is actually nicer than this. This one's in pretty good shape. But the first and foremost thing you can notice is the color. That way this would never be passed off as original. It does not bend at all. So with that said, I know people are going to be like, oh, no, repro, and that's what you people online say all the time. But what you don't realize is most collectors are my age, and we are not online. I'm online because of my eBay store, Jenner Custom Toys, but this guy's not online. So that was a telltale sign. His Dianoga looked the same color. It wasn't bendy. It wasn't one of my pieces, but I could tell right away it wasn't real. Now, like I said, this guy paid through the nose for this Death Star station. And I'm like, Brian, this was the first telltale sign. I'm like, Brian, I got to tell you, man. I said, that's fake. And he was a little bummed out at first, a little bummed out at first, but then he's like, well, it'll still look good. I'm like, yeah, it will still look good, but I know what he paid for it. I don't know if it's proper to say how much he paid for it too, but let's just say it was more than I would have paid for it. But he was happy, and that's what collectors like me, we just want to be happy with our stuff. Like I said, mine would never pass for the real deal. So that was the first telltale sign. The second one, there was a vacuum sealed bag in the box, and you could tell it was like one of those modern vacuum seal bags that you might have in your kitchen to put meat on, with these in them. Not these specifically. I made these for demonstration purposes, for visuals. Like I said, I didn't think to take any pictures. I wasn't even going to do a video about this, but the more the day went through, I got a little mad about it. He left and took a set with him. There has been some debate if the trash foam for the Death Star station came cut or like this. I've seen reports on both. I did some more research tonight, and I cannot find this as original at all. Even in instructions, which I have a copy of right here, the Death Star foam's right there, it shows a bag of cut up foam. So in any foam you can find, on even if it's been in a box for the past 40 some years, it's all deteriorated, just like the Dagobah playset. The foam it disintegrates, and there's nothing you can do about it. In fact, if I'm wrong, please somebody correct me. Did the foam come like this? Maybe it did in Canada. It didn't come here in the United States. When I was a little kid and I got mine was already cut up, because I remember opening the bag and pouring it into the trash compactor. This, like I said, this is just for demonstration purposes. I make the trash foam for the Death Star station on my site, a replica of it. It's obviously, that's the one thing that cannot be reproduced, because it all disintegrated. It really did. So in fact, mine looks like this. And then I've even gotten an argument about people how many pieces there were. I have no idea. I don't think anybody knows. The best I can tell you is I think it was 20 pieces of each color. And the colors they used were black, yellow, and blue. And that's a fact. Someone said, oh, there was orange in there. There's definitely orange. Look at mine, and it's all busted up. No, that used to be yellow. It turned orange because it's old. I remember yellow, blue, and black, because I wanted red and orange. I really did. I did. So, feeling bad for the guy. He spent $500. Well, now you know how much he spent. He spent all this money to get this Death Star playset. And I'm like, I got to check one more thing. And I checked the little rope that comes down. I don't have one here in front of me to show you. The little rope. Sure enough, it was a repro. It wasn't even a good repro. Even I don't do that. I make replacement parts. I don't do the rope for that reason. Because first of all, it's so easy to make. Second of all, no, I won't do it. So I could just see like the look in his eyes. He just, like, because of all the money he spent. Now, if everything was original, he'd been happy about it. There was one last thing. The cannon that goes on the top, and this is just for visual purposes. The cannon on the top, this piece here was a repro. Like, it wasn't even a good repro. It wasn't one I made, but it wasn't a good repro. And this piece here, just like the one I'm showing you, was missing, and he didn't know it existed. I'm like, yeah, dude. So we got on eBay together, and I showed him how much just to buy one of these with the extra piece is going to cost him, and he was a little upset about that because it's going to cost a lot of money. So, long story short, what the point of my video is tonight is you have to be careful buying stuff off other people. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Do your research. Talk to some people. Talk to the dealers. Talk to the sellers. This guy doesn't buy stuff online. He found it at a secondhand store. In fact, it's the one I was just talking about the other day. I'm not going to say what it is because I'm not trying to start a war in real life with people. And I know there's a whole repro battle going on. I'm not against replacement parts, but I don't think if you're going to use a replacement part, that's fine. Make it something that cannot be passed off as original to an educated buyer. Unfortunately, Brian, not really an educated buyer. So I don't know if he's going to go back down there and give the guy hell or what. I told him to, but I can't control other people. I guess that's all I really had to say about it. Like I said, really quick video. I know this is going to start some stir. Hell, I might even lose some subscribers over it, but you know, whatever. I mean, you know by now how I feel about collecting and repro parts. My stance on repro is I'm okay with replacing parts that look differently, that can't be mistaken for the real deal, just to complete the thing on your shelf. Either whether you want to just keep it that way or, you know, later on get the right piece to fit. This Death Star here, it took me over a year to get all the pieces parts to complete it, including the little rope, which is authentic. You know, it takes time. It takes time. But a replacement part that looks a little bit different, that any normal collector can pick up and look and say, oh, well, this is a replacement, this is a repro, whatever you guys want to call it. I don't care. I'm tired of this argument, and I'm not going to argue with it anymore. But you still got to be careful. Just like buying anything, like you go buy a used car, you got to take it out, make sure it's okay, take it for a test drive, make sure, in the olden days, we had to make sure there was no sawdust in the oil pan, you know, stuff like that. It's all relative. Stop ripping people off. Stop ripping each other off. Stop fighting about it. Enjoy your collection. I do feel like I do have some more advice for collectors, especially older collectors like me that aren't online. You're going to have to do your research if you want to buy stuff like this. You need to find out what you're getting into. You know, something in the box and everything. If you want something like that, just there's resources that you can go to see what actually belongs in that box. Like SWCA. I forget what those letters stand for, but it's a site I refer to all the time. It'll tell you what comes with each toy and what you should expect. You can try eBay. That'll give you a good idea of prices if you want to see what's been sold and everything like that. But, you know, see how much something's worth before you shell out. I let it slip $500 for something I wouldn't even pay $200 for. Maybe I'll do an update on Brian, and maybe I'll ask him to do a guest spot on here, and maybe we'll take us a little bit further. But you know, it's one thing to have replacement parts. It's another thing to sell them as original and rip somebody off, which I feel happened to him. It's happened to me years ago too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I make such an effort to try to be full disclosure on what I sell. Whether it's something from my shop, something I restored. I've done a lot of X-Wings that sticks out the most for this year. I restored, at least like 20 X-Wings this year. And I put them on. I make my own cockpits and different parts, but they're different. They're obviously not the right ones. But it's better than having a pile of crap on your shelf or in a bag or in a box. It's just going to fall apart. In this case, this is one of the bad scenarios. So, yeah, I just want to interject that. Not even sure if I put it in the video where it belongs.
It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.